and the dunk, he scores!
Lyle Thompson is such a superstar.
And Lyle Thompson, the hero again!
I be waving through the city, that's a whole lot of sauce.
I couldn't think of a question that I could ask you that you haven't been asked a million times before, you know, when it comes to where you're from and your culture and your background. I wanted to know, what is the one thing that you wish people would ask you in these interviews and you wish people would know about you or the sport or the game or the culture?
That's a deep, tough question for me. But, so when it comes to all the interviews I've done, all the conversations I've had, and when it comes to lacrosse, a lot of it is about lacrosse. A lot of it is about teaching the history of the game. And, you know, I've heard it all multiple times. I think the conversation I like to have is just about a positive way of spreading a message to other people. And I guess the question is essentially my experience, because that's all people have to give is their experience, regardless of what you learn. So for me, I love to talk about those three things I learned from the game throughout my life there. Respect, positivity, playing with a clear mind, and having fun. Those are the three things I like to dive deep into, because I think people take words too literal. There's a lot more into those three words, those three, I guess, phases, my messaging when it comes to the game of lacrosse. And those three things have helped me so much that I want to be able to pass that on. And I'm doing that with my kids and the people I'm involved with in my circle. But if anyone asked me, I could talk hours about that, you know what I mean? So I guess that's the question. Those are the things I like to talk about.
I want to talk about that word respect, because that's something that I feel like a lot of other players and people involved in this game just associate with you. You know, you've won the Sportsmanship Award several times. You just won this past season again. And I want to get your take on where you think, you know, we are in the age of sports activism, be it for gender, race, politics, what have you, where lacrosse sits on this spectrum, you know, compared to other sports. Do we still have a long way to go?
I'm an optimist, so I think we're right where we're supposed to be, and we are heading in the right direction. And I mean, I'm seeing it firsthand from when I was a kid to where I am right now, and in that impact that I've had, to show that hey, people are starting to listen and starting to see and starting to respect not only the history but themselves. Our lacrosse community is so small that I think there's strength in that, because we're so small right now, and when this game starts to blow up, and it is, we've structured a strong base for the league and for the people of this league to grow in a respectful manner.
Now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your roots, but off the floor, because before this interview, I was given a tip that I did not know, that you're an artist, a really talented artist, and you like to draw. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been drawing my whole life. I think any artist or anyone who's passionate about arts does. I was never interested in school. You know, in classes I would sit there and doodle, and when I got to university, that was my major, was art. I didn't follow through with it just because of time management and things I had to balance when I was in college with having my kids and my wife and school and lacrosse. So it was a lot to balance, and I didn't have the time for it. So I wish I did stick with it, but still to this day, I still, you know, create logos, draw tattoos for people, and just doodle on my own time. I homeschool my kids, and I cover the subject art and physical education. But another passion of mine. It's something I enjoy doing. I think it's important for me to continue to practice it, and I'm looking forward to you know, moving down to Georgia this year and sort of continuing to pursue that dream of art, going back to school and learning more about the direction I can take as far as business and where I'm sitting today, instead of just making it a passion and drawing when I want, what I want.
I know takes time. Could you draw something for me right now? Because I brought a pad and a pen.
So I'm drawing. I'm trying to think of what I could draw.
Whatever comes to mind.
Let's see here. I like to draw a lot of cultural things. So like when it comes to like animals or feathers or trees, anything that ties into my culture, what I grew up respecting, and you know, our culture is based off of the natural world. And I know I've said this word multiple times on this interview, but respect. That's all our culture is acknowledgement and awareness of the seasons and the other beings around on Earth, or around Earth even, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything. So those are the things I'm passionate about drawing. Those are the things that run through my mind a lot. So I guess I'll just draw a feather. Feathers are to us a form of, I guess spirit, you know what I mean? It came from something living, and that's part of our culture, just like a lacrosse stick came from a tree. And that spirit, we try to carry that spirit within the stick, transfer from the tree to the stick. And we do that with a lot of things. You know, turtle rattles, different kind of hooves and leather, and you know, still to this day, our culture still practices those things. And really, it's really about not wasting. In today's day and age, it's just simplifying your life and making sure that you're using the things you're maybe killing or purchasing. You're not just wasting it.
When you draw now, do you usually do it, you know, at home with your kids, or do you do it when you're alone, when you're stressed out?
So I run a pretty busy schedule. I usually do it when I'm alone, when I travel. Actually, when I travel a lot. So anytime I'm in an airport and I got some time to myself. I draw with my kids, but that's a lot more simple instructional stuff. So it's a little less fun for me, but sometimes I get a little too into drawing with my kids, and I'm trying to correct them and do a little bit too much, when I just gotta allow them to use their free mind and have fun with it in their own way.
What do they like to draw?
My oldest daughter is actually a really good artist. She, right now she's really, I just taught her how to draw like eyes, and teaching her how to balance them and
That's hard.
And yeah, for a kid too. She's 8 years old, but she's figured it out quick, and she's really good at drawing. She's into drawing faces right now, faces and hair, because before, as a kid, everything's very like just shapes. Mm-hmm. So she'd draw the head, draw eyes there, and some hair would be a couple strings, but now I'm teaching her how to like wave, really just how to go into detail and use shading. Once I learned how to draw, really, once I got to like 6th grade and I learned how to shade, that was my favorite part, was learning how to shade. I'd create my own little art tools. I would say that's kind of became my strength is shading when it comes to pencil shading. Pen shading, on the other hand, is
Sorry.
It's a little tougher.
We were ill prepared, but it looks like you're doing pretty well with that. This is the complete work? This is incredible.
I don't want to keep carrying it on.
That's so good.
I probably should have did it bigger for the camera.
Wait, you need to sign it though. Doesn't every artist need to sign their work?
I've never signed my stuff. I rip it up after I'm done.
Well, don't rip that one up.
I gotta fix that because my daughter's starting to do it.
You're oh no.
I try to save her work. She's trying to get rid of it.
No. Well, I'm going to save this. I'm sure everyone at our NLL offices are going to be really excited to have this. All right. Cool. Thank you. And thank you for drawing. Appreciate it.
Hey, my name is Paige Favor, and I do social for the Georgia Swarm. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click on the logo in the center of the screen. If you want to check out some of our other videos, make sure you click on them to the left. And if you still need tickets, make sure you go to georgiaswarm.com, and I'll see you at the next game.